What are thin value bets in poker and how do they work? Imagine you are sitting at a poker table and the tension in the air is palpable. You have a decent hand, but is it strong enough to bet? This is where thin value bets come into play. A thin value bet is a wager made with a hand that is only slightly better than what your opponent might have. You expect to win just over half the time if they call. Unlike a standard value bet, where you have a strong hand, thin value bets occur when your hand is on the borderline of winning. You believe it is still worth betting because your opponent might call with worse hands. The key to making a successful thin value bet is understanding your opponent's tendencies and the range of hands they might hold. To start, you need to put your opponent on a reasonable range of hands based on their actions in the hand. This means considering what they might have based on their betting patterns. If you think they could hold a variety of weaker hands, your bet has value. Next, evaluate how many hands in that range you beat. The closer the hands you beat are to those that beat you, the thinner your value bet becomes. Thin value bets are often made on later streets, especially on the river, where the pot size justifies risking chips for a small edge. These bets are particularly effective against players who tend to call often. If your opponent is the type to call with a wider range of hands, they are more likely to call your thin value bet with a weaker hand. From a strategic standpoint, you need to consider both your perceived range and your opponent's range. If your betting range includes bluffs, your opponent may call lighter, allowing you to profitably thin value bet with more marginal hands. Conversely, if your opponent is cautious and folds too often, thin value bets may not be as effective. In practice, you might bet with a marginal made hand on the river when you suspect your opponent will call with weaker holdings, like a second pair or a weak top pair. The size of your bet should be modest to encourage calls without scaring your opponent away. Thin value bets are a strategic way to extract extra value from your opponents. Mastering this technique can improve your post-flop play and increase your overall winnings, especially against players who call frequently. Understanding when and how to make these bets can make a significant difference in your poker game.